Hello. I think it's working. I hope it's working. Yeah, I think it's working. Let me know. Let me know if it's working. um, let's see. So I am going to be making. I don't know what they're called in English. I know how they're spelled. Um, we always called it Bonntaub, but I think that's the inappropriate way to say it. It's actually called Bonntaub, I believe. And my mom does grow these, but I saw these at the store the other day, so I decided to buy some because I'm trying to put more vegetables in my life. So I'm gonna do one and see how much that is. I'll probably only cook one, I think, instead of two. I have two, but I'll probably just cook one. And I'm just gonna get this stove top on, and I'm gonna put some ground chicken in this. Yeah, so I like to ground up my chicken. I buy chicken breast in bulk, and then I'll ground it up and then slowly eat it. And it doesn't need to be hot or anything, but I think it's pretty hot already. Hello, June. You know, is your real name June? June is such a pretty name. My cousin named her daughter Juniper because they wanted to have June as her nickname. But we call her Junie. I think her parents call her Juniper sometimes. Or June sometimes. I have pretty bad carpal tunnel in my right hand. I got carpal tunnel in my left hand around 26 weeks. And it wasn't that bad because it was my left hand, but now I have it in my right hand too. So it's been a struggle having carpal tunnel in my right hand. But I guess, I don't know, the left hand was hurting really bad at first, but it's lessened. So hopefully the right hand will start to lessen up soon too. So yeah, I just have some ground chicken in here in this pot, stir frying, and then I'm going to do a noka where it's just cook this, add water, and then put this bota in there. Well, that's still clever. Zhong as in Hajong, like the forest? Or how do you spell your name in Hmong? Is it just Zong? Zhong? That is really clever, June. You know, when I was younger, my real name is Bonnie, by the way. And when I was younger, I was really sad that I didn't have a Hmong name. Hello, Stacy. Thanks for joining. Yeah, when I was younger, I was super sad because, my siblings' names, we all have, English American names. My oldest brother, his name is Lee, so it's a little ambiguous. But it's Lee, Sylvia, Eddie, Lisa, Sarah, Bonnie. My uncle that actually got to go to school in America, named all of us. Except for Sarah. Sarah's the favorite one. And my mom actually named Sarah. But, yeah, we don't have, Hmong names. But then they were able to derive Hmong names out of, Sylvia, everyone calls her Via. And then Lisa, everybody calls her Sa. But then Bonnie was just Bonnie, and Eddie was just Eddie. And then Sarah was the favorite, so everyone called her Nyon. Ito ni Nyon, huh? So, I was really sad, and then maybe when I was like 13 or 14, I kept complaining to my mom that I didn't have like a Hmong name, and everyone just called me Bonnie. So là mới nhập cái tô hùng cục thì là một cục tiêu anh có shame nó á. But like to little off he saw for me, they said that let y'all từng time go shame mua là nó, or you know, let từng time go shame mua thôi. Tô trong chơi là blah blah trong thiên nu. And my dad's like, go shame your thing. Because like it was something like my mom just kind of did, and my dad didn't like really care. Aww, Jean like good. Yeah, but I was really sad I didn't have a home name. So the chicken's all white. This is like the kind of food that like your grandparents eat. But I've been trying to be a lot better about eating vegetables. So then, you know, I gotta adapt my dad's lifestyle and his diet. This kind of food my dad eats. So, do you guys ever eat this? I love eating these. I don't think Tao really cares for them. But if you guys know anything about them, you're supposed to peel them in water, because if you don't peel them in water, they release like this sap. So yeah, I just peel it in water. Right now it's okay, but eventually it'll start leaking like a lot of sap, and it's slippery. Yeah, but I guess even though I didn't have a Hmong name when I was younger, I will forever be called, you know, Nyachundou. So I guess I got that Hmong name I always wanted. Let's see. Bahn-Thou is actually okay. So Bahn-Thou, I've been wanting to kind of do a video on this. I think it actually is a mesh of our names, yes, but it was actually because when I first started this years ago, I wanted to sell my Hmong clothes, and it was like I had so many Hmong clothes, and I was on this journey to get rid of everything that I owned. So Ntaub, Tao's name is Ntaub, and I just thought it was like so clever how like Bahn-Thou sound like Bahn-Thou na. And so this actually really started with me trying to sell all my Hmong clothes that I only wore once. And I was able to sell the majority of them, even though they were used. And I wanted to like buy people's clothes and sell people's clothes, but I got too lazy to do that. I was like getting my aunt's clothes, because like, you know, right now it's so bad. Those Facebook Lives are like taking over my feed, and I'm really good about not shopping. So I'm glad I'm good about not shopping, but I see that there's a lot of people that have really, really bad shopping habits. Do you guys have bad shopping habits? And yeah, I just eventually stopped doing it. And I used to sell like my aunt, like they sew home bags and stuff too. But I just stopped doing it cold turkey. But that's where Bahn-Thou really started from, because I thought it was really clever because it kind of sounded like Bahn-Thou, and you know, Tao's name was Ntaub, and it was just convenient. But yeah, my name is Bonnie. I am gonna make two because this one is small, and it's not leaking a lot of sap. I don't know why. Food memories with my grandparents. So, let's see. My dad, he lost his dad when he was really, really young. Like, my youngest uncle never even met his dad. Oh, no, this one's sappy. Um, yeah, so my dad, I never got to see my grandfather from my dad's side of the family or my mom's side of the family. They both died when my parents were younger. Like, this is like pre-Vietnam War, like probably French Indochina War. Um, and my grandma from my dad's side, my dad did have his mom, and she passed away when I was like 11 or 12. And my memories of eating with her is like, I'm the youngest in my family, but I'm kind of the youngest of my entire generation. So like everybody, and then my grandma used to have to watch me. And so it would just be me and her. And I remember like her steaming potatoes and carrots for me and feeding me while I was sitting on the ground in the kitchen, and she would sit on a stool and just feed me. Like, that's what I remember eating with my grandma, or um, she lived with my youngest uncle at the time, and sometimes I would ask her to eat cereal. But yeah, that's my food memories with my grandma on my dad's side. And then my Nitai, she was actually in Laos. My mom's the only one here from her side of the family, from like her mom. My mom has Nihon Niyo and she's Niyo Yu. Niho's kids were all here. So those are the cousins from my mom's side that I grew up with. And my mom's like mom, my Nitai, she was in Laos, and she did come to America to visit when I was like 15. I was like a freshman, sophomore in high school. And she used to just eat bread dipped in condensed milk and coffee. Like, that's what she used to eat. But to have memories of like her feeding me and stuff, I was already big, so I don't have like those kind of memories. But I do with my dad's mom. Yeah, I love this. I love eating this gourd. My mom used to make it with, like, she used to shred it and make it with scrambled eggs, too. And I also have sausages in the oven that look like nature. So, you know, we live in Ohio where there's no Hmong stores. And the other day we were at the store and we saw these sausages. And we thought they would taste like Hmong sausage because they do sell Hmong sausages here at one of the stores, but we didn't go to that one. And we were like, oh, we'll just try these out. And they're like more like the fermented yeonisai crop that are actually sour. And I think Tao's kind of like, they're just okay. Hello, semi-charmed life. What's your real name? Thanks for following me on Instagram. You know what, June? That's so funny because I want to call you June instead of Zhong. June is probably what you go by anyways. It's actually because, okay, so we had peach trees outside when we were younger, so we had to learn how to cut fruit like that. And my mom is like, one of her biggest pet peeves were eating fruit with skin on. So like if we ate an apple with its skin on, my mom would yell at us. So that's why I can cut fruit like that. But that's really funny because I learned how to cut fruit like peaches like that at a really young age. And there were these girls that I used to hang out with, these Hmong girls when we were younger. And one night I had them come over and they slept over, and I had to cut fruit for them. We were like in the 3rd or the 4th grade. We were like in the 4th grade. And my mom's like, "By date, can't see no." And I was like, "Here's a knife. You guys can cut your own fruit." And they're like, "Our mom cuts our fruit for us." So there you go. Listen to Bonnie's life as a child. My mom was not the most she wasn't the sweetest to me. But I guess when I got older, she was more willing to cut fruit for me. Probably because she didn't cut fruit for me that much when I was younger. I have always been in Ohio. My dad, when he first came to America, my dad came here first. And my parents actually got married in America. They never met. They just got married. My dad landed in Pittsburgh. And then he heard that there were some Hmong people that he knew from the motherland here in Ohio. And then he came and followed the people that were here. Because there wasn't... The people in Pittsburgh, I don't think there were like many Hmong people that he knew in Pittsburgh. So that's why they came here. Yeah, the bread and the condensed milk thing, my mom really likes it too. But that's all my Netai ate when she lived here. Or when she came here to visit. She was here for like 3 months when I was 15. And then when I was a senior in college in 2013, I went to Laos with my mom. And we went to go see my Netai. And then she passed away like in February the following year. So I was really glad that I was able to take my mom to Laos in December of my senior year. Otherwise, she would have like never seen her mom before she passed. And, you know, I got to go to Laos with my mom. And I'm the only one that got to go to Laos out of like all my siblings. But, okay, so I bought a plane ticket for us to go. And it was 13 days. And it was like my finals week. I skipped finals week. I took all my finals like Friday and Saturday. And before like any of my friends did. And then we got there. My mom's like, only 13 days? Like, this is supposed to be a trip of a lifetime. Our plane tickets were like $1,900 a piece. And I can't believe you only bought tickets for 13 days. And then by day 3, my mom was like, so how many days do we have left? Because I think I'm ready. I'm ready to go home. Yeah, and you know, my dad, like I said, he did have his mom. And my dad and his brothers and his sisters are super close. You know, a lot of Hmong people, they don't get to grow up with their aunts. Unless, like, their Netais live there. But I was able to grow up with my dad's sisters and his brothers because they all stayed together because their mom. Because they didn't have a dad, and I think she flew a lot. So I got to grow up with all my first cousins on my dad's side, whether they were like Pokyotu or, you know, and stuff. So we never like Doningja or anything like that. Let's see. I got some scissors. I love having scissors in my kitchen. And I'm going to cut that sausage. Do you guys like eating that like fermented sausage? And yeah, like cycrop is fermented, so like so I'm gonna put all these gourds in here. Actually, like I needed like 1.5. There were 2 small ones, but a big one or like 1.5. But I like it. I like eating the gourd, so it's okay. Yeah, so my dad was really close. Like, they all stayed here for my grandma. And they really, really love each other. So we're really close with our first cousins on the guy's side. Like, on my dad's sisters and my dad's brothers. So that's why they never left. So even though, like, when I was really young, I guess there was a lot of Hmong people in Ohio. Like, in the 80s. But by the time when I was growing up and stuff, they were like slowly like leaving and they were going to California and Minnesota. But we did stay. And I don't think it was ever an option to leave for my dad because my grandma was here. And she's buried here, so he's never going to leave. They really love each other, and that's why, like, my uncle, my dad's oldest brother, passed away, and that's when I had, like, a real crisis. And that's when I, like, changed careers and everything, because, like, it was really heavy on me, and my uncle, he didn't have any daughters. He only has 3 boys, and we grew up across the street from them, so, like, they really loved us because we were girls. And especially like me and my oldest sister, they were really, really close to us because they didn't have daughters. And so if my mom was too busy loving Sarah, no one right above me. Yeah, so like when my uncle passed away, I went in and I did like everything a daughter would do. So that's actually why I learned a lot of funeral stuff, because I felt like I was their daughter and I had to do everything a daughter would do in a funeral. Well, my husband is from Wisconsin. So there's always an option to go to Wisconsin. We did decide to come to Ohio though after we got married because I think that he needed a change of atmosphere, and I had the engineering job that I just started. So then that's why like we ended up staying here, and then I left my engineering job. But then now he has a good job as a nurse here, so I don't know if he could get like the same kind of equivalent job up there. Or like equivalent as in like as good of a nursing job as he has here, because it's pretty flexible here. And truthfully, if I could really choose, I would have done like, I like to live, I'm a city girl, so I would love to live like tiny apartment, you know, San Francisco, LA, Chicago. That would have been my dream. But Tao is like this country bunion from the hills of Wisconsin, you know. We're like polar opposites. I guess my sister's a teacher, and there's a children's book called like Country Mouse and City Mouse. And the city mouse goes out to the country, and there's like no food because in the country it's everything's so far away, but it's like real quiet. So the city mouse has a hard time in the country, and what he does is he convinces his cousin from the country to go to the city with him. He's like, there's food everywhere and it's so convenient. And then the country mouse goes to the city and there's like danger everywhere. And he like just doesn't have a good time in the city. And my sister said that's us. I'm the city mouse and Tao is the country mouse. He loves cheese and he loves milk. And I introduced him to like cheese boards, and he is always eating, like, if I get Parmesan cheese for pasta or something, he'll just break it and he'll just eat it. And I'm like, that's for the pasta. If you eat it all, there won't be any for the pasta. You know, the Wisconsin thing, I told him that if we go back to Wisconsin, I will only go to Milwaukee, maybe Madison, because I can't be in a small city. We lived in a small city for 2 years. My engineering job was in the middle of nowhere, and I was so incredibly unhappy. And I don't think it was because we were away from family. I just hated it. I hated the mentality of the people there, how everyone knew each other from a really, really young age. And like my coworker, like, if a business shut down, the entire town knew why it shut down. You know, they knew that it was like because of money laundering or it was just too close, and I hated it. I hated living there. I was so unhappy. And when I came here, I was so much happier because now we live in Columbus, and it's a really big city, and when it's not COVID times, I work in downtown. I can take the bus to work, and I like that. So Columbus is a great, it's a small, big city. So it's not quite Chicago, it's not quite New York or anything like that. But I do get to reap all the benefits of a big city and the suburbs of a smaller city. Tao is still at work. I don't know. Maybe they gave him another patient. He should have been home by like 4 or 5. But as you guys might know, he's a home health nurse, and sometimes they're like, you gotta get another patient. So Cynthia's my cousin. You guys were asking about my grandma earlier. Cynthia actually lived with my grandma when she passed, and Cynthia was only like, I don't know, 2 or 3 at the time, because you were born in 98, and it was in 2000. Oh, so you were 4, almost 4. So she has like memories of eating with my grandma, like in my grandma's bed when my grandma was really sick. My grandma would like shove food down their throats. Yeah, hopefully Tao will be home soon. Let's see. Taste this for salt. It's so refreshing and warm. Just a little bit of salt. Now I'm just going to boil this until the gourd is soft. I love eating this so much. Now I'm going to have a sausage. Yeah, Tao doesn't love this, but I think it's okay. It's just minchikawa. My baby is due February 11th. But we're on a bet that Tao thinks January, and I think first week of February. I'm so big. I'm so big. Oh man. I don't eat that much pepper, but just because you said it, I will with just salt. I think Tao would appreciate it. You know what? I'm almost out of red pepper, so I might go get some green pepper. If you watch my Instagram stories a while ago, you'll see that I packed these green peppers. And I cut off all the stems and everything. Oh. I'm super short, so I need a step stool. I'm only 5 feet. You can tell that when you turn up a saw, because if I did, my chucky wouldn't be so high up in the cabinet. So I'm just going to do this real old school. I don't know if you guys saw one of my posts, but I was saying that, like, my mom didn't really teach me how to cook, I guess. She's someone who, like, really just wants to cook for you. She doesn't really want to teach you how to cook, because if she does, then she can't cook for you anymore. So she eats really old school, and growing up, I never ate even pepper with fish sauce, because, you know, that's not really how they ate in the motherland. So then just, Tao would appreciate this. Oh, and I do like to put garlic. One little bit of garlic. So yeah, this is like the kind of pepper my parents ate. Just with salt. Oh my gosh! You are so lucky, Stacy! My husband wish he was 5'7". I wish my husband was 5'7". You are so lucky. But I guess, do you date Hmong guys? Because they're probably all short. How tall are your parents? I'm so jealous. You know, as an engineering student, all my friends were like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". And I never realized how tall they were. Because, you know, I saw them like every day. And, you know, them being 6'4", I just like looking up to them was just very natural to me. But now that we're older and I don't see them every day, and occasionally I'll see them, I'm like, man, Brandon, you're always that tall. I remember you being that tall when we were in college. Yeah, so just one garlic. I think I put like 4 or 5 peppers in here and just some salt. And it goes up to Tao, MSG. My mom doesn't like to eat raw peppers like this. She actually likes to roast them. And Tao really likes her roasted pepper too. Yeah, you know, occasionally you'll get like a Hmong guy that's kind of tall. Like Cynthia's brothers are tall. Should I put MSG in this then, T? Yeah, Cynthia's brothers are probably, I don't know, how tall are Alex and Aaron? Aaron's taller now, I think. And then my brother's 5'9", maybe 5'8", 5'9". Okay. Do you guys dokotao for every single meal? Maybe I'll put MSG in this so that I could eat it too and see, since I'm kind of like, yo. Take your word for it. Look, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this used to be onion salt, and now it's MSG. Hi. I'm on live, so it's okay. And he convinced me to put MSG into the pepper. Just for you.
Oh, that smells good.
Oh, well, your mom's 5'4". Your mom is tall. Yeah, Tao can't wait to do the vocal pod video. He can't wait. You don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I think that we need to eat all the chicken for Kunyang first so that we have room in the freezer.
Looks good. How much MSG did you put in there?
Enough.
Okay.
Yeah, Tao can't wait, but you gotta eat all the chicken first. Hey, the sausage is actually pretty good, or maybe I'm just hungry now. Wash your hands, nurse. He's a nurse, and this whole pregnancy, he don't care. He still wears his scrubs. He ain't got no shame. I'm like, can you like change?
Why are you sweating?
Because it's so hot in front of the stove. You were sweating this morning. Yes, Tao will get the Mboa video, but we gotta source our Mboa first because I don't know. We don't live where there's a lot of Hmong people.
You sweating like crazy.
Don't wipe me. You gotta pat me.
Oh yeah. Let me put my stuff on. I want to taste the hot sausage. Is it still sour?
It doesn't seem that sour. Try with pepper.
It's good. A lot better than the last one. Just in time, I'm craving. I'm hungry.
He's been more pregnant than me. Except for physically, I guess. I finally like surpassed him on the belly size.
That's some good pepper.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Giro?
I think a bit of pepper.
But I put MSG in it, see? Why is it still spicy? And see, Sarah mom said that if you put MSG in it, it won't be spicy. By the way, Cynthia's mom is the ultimate pepper maker in our state. She's always in charge of making pepper. So I guess I'll eat first. Because still waiting on him. Do you guys eat long grain rice or short grain rice? Does anyone eat short grain rice besides my mom? My mom only eats short grain rice. You know, Tao's the worst. He's the worst. And I can't even say anything because he's in the medical field. And I feel like if this guy is not going to change, then lost cause. He said that her mom won't even let them walk into the house. When they walk into the house, they have to take their clothes downstairs.
Oh, I remember you did that to me once or twice.
But you know, he kept complaining.
You had me stripped naked in front of in the outside.
No, I didn't. It was in the kitchen. This is so nice and warming, even though I'm so sweaty. I should not wear sweaters when I do lives. It's so hot.
Not putting in Jake with the sweat. It's delicious.
So what else? What's up, guys? Oh, somebody asked if I had memories of eating with my grandma. So what are your memories with your grandma since you spent a lot of time with yours?
My memories, I remember we always, she has a garden that she always walked to, like little white tile for like people to garden. So I always go with her. And I always carry like those big 5-gallon buckets for her. We gotta go scoop it off the creek and.
Oh, but you did, huh?
Goes a creek and then we have to go fill it up and then bring it back to her.
This pepper is good.
But my favorite food, I think that my grandma cook was, I don't know, she always used pig fat lard for everything. So that always made things good. Like with eggs, noroki, and stuff like that, yeah.
So Tao and I met at a funeral, and he was Nyago, so it was my mom's brother's wife. But my mom's brother's wife was like distantly related to him. So like I was related to the husband, he was related to the wife, and then one of like his side of the family introduced us to each other. I knew her, and she introduced us.
She's your cousin, right? Manu's your cousin?
Manu's not my cousin. She's my cousin's cousin.
Okay, but she's my cousin.
So then, what was I gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so like we were complete strangers. You know, I was related to the husband side of the family. He was related to the wife side of the family. We didn't think anything of it. And then when we first started dating, you know, he's from like the city where my mom, like all her new child lives and stuff. So I was like, hey, do you know so and so is my mom's cousin? And he's like, yeah, I call him the same thing. I was like, well, why do you call him the same thing as I do? And then we found out me and his dad are like cousins.
Huh.
And it was like real weird. And it got a little awkward and silent for a little bit. Because like his grandma and my mom are first cousins. So it's really close. But we got married anyways.
Go to funeral. You're always gonna find your wife there. Or New Year.
Well, I'm gonna cook anyways. See, so I don't like going out to eat because I'm very money conscious. So I try to be good about that. And I won't let him cook for me because I like the way I cook more.
It's just gonna be stir fry, meat, potato, stir fry, steak, deep fried chicken.
But he lived by himself for a really long time, so he knows how to cook.
I can cook most of the stuff. Like I can cook and kill a boiled chicken. Let's see. Everybody's gotta know how to make rice.
Yeah, and he's old school, so he knows how to like do them all, like for real.
It's been a while, but yeah, if I have to do it, I can do it.
Do you miss Hmong New Year?
Do I? Yes and no. I mean, as you get older, I think the Hmong New Year is just more. It's just more like cultural events. But I think with Hmong New Year's, I think there's gonna have to be some kind of change. But
For me, I feel like I didn't miss the New Year this year because I was so pregnant. And I wouldn't fit any Hmong clothes anyways. But I feel bad for all those people that are buying clothes on live and they're just wearing them in their house.
It's a new fashion. You can probably wear out in public now.
Those people are crazy. And see, you pop up on my feed all the time. You're like shopping at midnight, commenting at midnight. Yeah, New Year's, I don't know.
Man, I do like the virtual New Year though, because there's more entertainment than just than the regular Hmong New Year. Because Yeah, they're just more entertainment stuff on the virtual one.
Yeah, I do like that. Like you can actually see it. That's kind of nice. Versus, because if you go to the actual New Year, you're like walking around and eating and stuff.
I mean, it's super crowded, not enough seat, and I mean, I guess that's the whole point. It's kind of like going to a convention, but or a big event. But then with the virtual, you can just see everything at the comfort of your home. You can be in your pajama.
You can replay it.
Yeah, you can lounge around and watch, fall asleep and wake up and watch it again. And you get to meet a lot of the superstars that come and sing and display, but it'll be nice to see them in person.
But we've already seen them all. We went to Fresno once.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good experience.
Oh man. Well, you know, I'm from a really small town, so the New Year's like kind of a big deal where we are. It's not like where you guys are.
I think they should. It's just in my opinion. I think they should try to limit the New Year celebration to like one big event.
Yeah, but everybody got to fight.
I don't know.
Mmm. It's so tasty.
The pepper goes well with this sausage.
I guess I should pound these green peppers more often.
Yeah.
He like eating the whole thing.
Like I could just scoop it up and just eat the whole.
Yeah, it's not very spicy either. Maybe the MSG worked.
You know what we gotta try? Ghost pepper or Carolina Reapers.
So if you guys haven't been to the New Year in like 15 years, are you guys crazy Hmong clothes buyers? Well, like in Ohio, we only have one because Bishop Joe, right? But like when you go to a bigger Hmong city, I think it's so silly that every last name has to do one. Like, why?
Columbus.
Why does every last name have to do one, and then you guys still like do the town one too? It's just an excuse for everyone to get really trashed. Even in Michigan doesn't have that many Hmong people, but like even somewhere like Lansing, where it's like really small, they still have. I think they have like. He would know. I think they have like 3 separate gong hos, and it's Michigan. And it's so small, and every last name has their own party too.
Everybody just want to play politics.
Không chỉ luôn mong à. Yeah, so I like it that in Ohio we just have the one. Since Bishop Joe, I feel like we love each other a lot more.
I think there's just no fighting to be in power.
June, why do you refuse to take responsibility for con nhỏ con nhiều picture? You know, ik kan niet dat je aan het douchen wordt, ja. You probably hear people say that to you. This is really good. I feel so old. That's how my dad eats.
It's refreshing. It's like a soup, but a light soup.
How long have I been up here?
A year and 1 month.
No. I meant the timer. Because I'm on a battery.
Oh.
Weirdo.
A year and 1 month?
These sausages actually weren't that bad. Maybe we were just hungry.
Maybe.
I
mean, it does taste like the one that you made before. The fermented sausage.
Aaron said, the bowl and the green stuff looks like something Papa would eat. Because it is. This is kind of food my mom makes for my dad. I gotta get my veggies in, man. I just feel like I can't be eating meat all the time, even if I just want to eat steak or chicken wings.
Steak would be nice.
Yeah, the pepper was really good. It was MSG. Yeah, our wedding. So I lived in Ohio, and he's from Wisconsin. So
A lot of driving and traveling.
at the time, I moved out of my parents' house when I graduated college. And so my parents lived further away from Wisconsin than I did. But, you know, when you get married, you have to leave from your parents' house. You can't leave from, like, wherever. So he had to drive, like, 2 extra hours to come pick me up at my parents' house. And I told my mom before I walked out, she wanted me to roll, like, 200 egg rolls with her that day. And I just told her, like, Mom, kuya mo yotzi.
I told her to, like, get out through the window.
And you know what my mom said to me? She's like, I'm like, I've had one boyfriend in like 10 years, Mom.
Yeah. Who are you going to run off and get married?
Who do you think I'm going to marry? And I see him like every 2 or 3 weeks, Mom.
Who's that guy?
I don't know. Your nephew? So then we went home, and then Lukaita, and I was still working at the time, and I didn't have a lot of vacation time because I was only like a year or 2 into my job. So we drove back to Wisconsin, and then I slept there one night, and then I got on a plane. I came back to my mom's house. I drove my car. I had to drive 2 hours back to my apartment. I worked that week, and then the next week I drove to Wisconsin by myself, and then paid Hoopli. And then
both of us.
No.
Yeah.
And then I drove back by myself.
Did you?
Yes.
I thought you stayed and we cleaned up my apartment and then we both left.
No, because I think I came back the next weekend because your parents had a party. I didn't stay for the whole week. I didn't have enough vacation time. So, yeah, I was going back and forth. I did back and forth for 3 weekends in a row.
Yeah, and then...
On the last one, though, I flew, because when we drove back to Ohio, he drove us.
Yeah, so that's when we packed up my stuff from Green Bay, and then I moved to Findlay, and then from Findlay, we had to come back and Shakay at my parents' house, so we have to drive all the way from Findlay to Green Bay, and then Green Bay all the way to Akron.
There's a lot of driving.
And then from Akron, and then we came back to our place in Findlay, and then and then my parents left from Findlay to Green Bay, so yeah, so we made a lot of trips.
So, do we get a lot of Nyapitua? So I feel like my family isn't that big. So I think we got, I don't know, like maybe like 4 or 5 grand, maybe for Nyapitua.
Around there.
I got the paperwork. It's in my dresser. But I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 grand, and then we got a lot of blankets, of course, and then the clothes. My mom never like. I feel like when I got older, she never really bought me Hmong clothes. So my Hmong clothes were just my Hmong clothes that I bought.
Yeah, I mean we didn't get pots and pans because we got our own stuff right. So they didn't. So we got a lot of blankets.
Blankets. We got some pots and pans. You don't know. Your hair is crazy.
Wow.
It was so nice this morning. My family they're not heavy drinkers, even though they might say and claim that they are. They're not. Tao's family is. They're heavy drinkers.
Yeah, we're like, where's the party at?
Well, you know, they print off like a sheet of paper of everyone that gave you stuff. We kept it. And then Gu Jianya, Jia is still with it too, as my Hmong lesson says. Shitoshia. And
Is it still there?
it's his drawer. And so my family's not a heavy drinking family, but Tao doesn't drink a lot either. Even though his family is really heavy drinkers, he's not. So he was really wasted.
No, I wasn't.
And
it was
okay,
liquor.
so then we left my parents' house, and then we drove 2 hours to go stay at our place, right? And then like our wedding party, Japila and Natanjo and stuff, and Mekong, they came to stay at our place for a night. And the next day when we drove back to Wisconsin, everyone was so hungover that I had to drive. My mother-in-law came to the wedding too. So I drove one car, I drove one minivan, and my mother-in-law drove the other minivan. We drove everyone home.
Yeah, I think it was the tequila that got me.
So that's how my wedding went.
A lot of back and forth, long distance.
Yeah, but then we got to Wisconsin, and then we ate, and then we turned right back around, and I had to work on Monday.
Yeah, and I was off for 3 weeks.
Yeah, my Natanjo was really young. She was only 16. So, and she's like never had a drop of alcohol in her life. So, she was fine. But she wasn't going to drive because she was 16. Did you have to pay a lot?
Yeah, but I didn't pull a muscle cramp like most guy did. Like I remember like my brothers and cousins they pulled muscle for for paying.
Well, I think my family's pretty simple, and you know I was 25, and by then like so they were like, just take her. I don't care if you beat her. I don't care if Nichi Morning Long, just take her. Because she's so old and nobody else will take her. I think. So they made it real easy. You saw. What? I think it was really easy. Because some weddings be so complicated and low high stay up till like 5 in the morning. It wasn't like that.
I think it's because we drove from a long way too.
And I think like there was no bad blood between our families in the past. And they knew like his oldest uncle because his oldest uncle had a son-in-law that was from our town too. Yeah, let that go expire now. I don't see. You just turned 22. You ain't that far away.
Let me check the expiration date.
Why? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure, like, especially my mom, right? She was just like, because my mom was so afraid that I was gonna marry Mika for some reason, and she don't even know. She didn't even know how like hard it was. Okay, to find a Hmong guy when you live in Ohio, when you're like an engineering major, and Hmong guys are so airheaded. And I always felt like Hmong guys never understood me because they were really intimidated by my education, and that was really, really, really annoying. My mom didn't even know, so she's like, anyone Hmong that's willing to marry her, you Yongi. So I'm surprised that you want to put those now.
Nên ba vườn bán để cái tô sẽ xưa mà.
Yeah, so they were just, somebody wants to marry her. Okay.
It's always the guys that come from out of town. It's always those guys.
Yeah, and see, I met Tao when I was 24. We got married in 9 months.
So how old is she?
She just turned 22 in December.
Oh, so she got 2 years.
Yeah, but I remember when I was 22, man. Ugh. I've had a quarter life crisis every year since I was 22. Yeah, we're in a pandemic now. Now it's even easier. Yata, Facebook, sana.
Yeah, because don't want to follow the picture for.
Yeah, you could just do it behind the scenes. You don't have to like bring them around, make them talk to your parents.
Yep, they're like, go to Bonntaub, yeah,
I wouldn't even want to bring a guy around my parents if I was you and see, because your mom probably like, what if he has COVID? Like, your mom is so freaked out about COVID. What is he gonna do? Undress at the door? You can do his laundry while he's there.
Bring extra clothes. That's what call my patience.
It's okay if you hate FaceTiming. You'll find somebody that hates FaceTiming too. Or maybe you'll find somebody that you actually like FaceTiming with. Well, you know, Tao and I hated everyone, and I found someone that I didn't hate. So I'm at an hour and 3 minutes, and I'm still on battery life. So I bought like this attachment that plugs in, so that I wouldn't have to use the battery. My camera wouldn't need the battery, but it sucks. It doesn't work. So I have to return it to Amazon. Hopefully I'll buy another one so that I could like keep streaming. But it is what it is. I know. You gotta go to the funerals. That's where the good kids are. You know, one of my IGTV that I did was what was the saying? Oh, what to do with right? Actually, Tao and I met because Tao, he just got back from the funeral from New. And I forgot to add that in the IGTV, but I thought that was kind of funny. Because he went to go kill the cow for, like, and it was her brother that he had to go kill a cow for, because he's related to the wife. Hey, maybe you can find someone. You will find someone that you actually want to FaceTime. Tao found me. This guy who, like, I don't know. I feel like I wasn't his usual type. And he obviously wasn't mine, but it worked out. Who knew I'd find someone like that, like him? Not my mom. She was gonna, man, no, like when I went to Laos with my mom, one of my cousins, she had I guess it was like my mom's sister's like stepson, and my mom was like, why don't you date him? Why don't you talk to him? You know, at the time I was only 23, so I like haven't met Talia or anything. I was only 22. I was C's age. um, and she's like, he's going to school. He wants to be a lawyer in Laos, and he can speak English. Why don't get Tao Ntaub? And I'm like, Mom, why? Why is that even an option? I don't. She's like, well, he already drives here. Like, yeah, but he doesn't drive in America. Like, why is this even an option? Why is this even a conversation? So, my mom, like, and then when I went there and I went to, when I was in, like, the Hmong capital, right? There was like, oh my God, you go to the morning market and everyone's just handing me their son's photo. And I'm like, oh my God. I was telling my mom in English, like, Mom, I want to go. Mom, why are we still here? Mom, get them away from me. Mom, leave me alone. And she's just like, you know, maybe you could just like try. Like, Mom, why do you want me to marry somebody from Laos? Whatever. Yeah, because my mom's like, he's driving us around. He's so nice. You're crazy. I'm not going to marry a guy from Laos. Ugh. It like pissed me off so bad. And then afterward, it was really weird because like we went to like the morning market, right? And like everybody was trying to tell me to date their son or whatever, their nephew. And then there was this guy there, and I remember he was like, he had this black hoodie on. He was this Hmong guy, and I was like speaking English to my mom. And I'm not thinking anything of it. He's not saying anything to me. And then later, I'm like walking in like kind of like their main street area, and he comes up to me, and he's like speaking to me in perfect English. And he's like, asked me how I'm doing. And I looked at him real weird. I was like, your English is really good. He's like, yeah, I teach English in the capital, but I'm from here. And I was so embarrassed because like after I just like yelled at my mom about like, Mom, I don't want to be here. Mom, let's go back to the hotel. Mom, blah, blah, blah. And this guy's like then it's all connecting. Like he understood everything I said to my mom. And I was a little embarrassed. Or like, they kept trying to tell me to talk to, because when you go over there, you like, ideally, you find like a cab driver, and then you pay him, you know, $100, $200 a day, and he'll take you anywhere and everywhere. So then when we were in Singkwon, we found a guy, like a cab guy, this Hmong guy, and he kept wearing, you know, like they just want to come here so bad. And like my mom and I were like, Bonnie, he's calling you. Why don't you just talk to him? Because we still have to go tomorrow. It's gonna be awkward if you don't talk to him. Or like, I just wanted to sit in the back seat, and my mom forced me to sit shotgun. I'm like, what do you want, Mom? Do you really want me to marry this guy? He's like, he probably got like 3 kids, and he got a wife at home, and he's balding. And look, Tao has a head full of hair, which I'm grateful for because his dad has really nice hair. But my dad is bald. My mom always said that my dad, when we were kids, she always said that he was Homer Simpson. But yeah, so that was my adventure in Laos. My mom was ready to come home by day 4, and I cried like every day past day 6. And I was miserable. They burned their trash there, and I wear contacts, so my eyes were burning. It was really polluted. And on the way home, I came home with an eye infection. It was bad. Yeah, but I'm glad I went. I wish that I could have gone and done like touristy fun things, but we didn't do that. We just stayed with my mom's family the whole time, but it was it was a good experience that I'm glad I had. Even though I cried every day after day 5. But it's okay. Because now I can say that, I went back once and I shared that memory with my mom. Even though I would have really loved it if we could have gone to like Bonntaub and saw the springs. But my mom doesn't have family up there. She only had family in St. Kwong, so we only stayed in the capital. But I'm way past the hour mark. My battery's probably gonna die soon. So I'm gonna go. And thank you so much for joining me. It's so much more fun when you guys are like actively talking to me and stuff. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to keep trying to do this every Tuesday and Thursday until this one comes. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. But hopefully I'll see you guys on Tuesday. I'm trying to like really pump out stuff, material, content before this one comes. Because I don't know how my life is going to be in a month. So hopefully Tuesdays work for you guys. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 o'clock. Let me know if you guys want me to cook something in particular. If you guys like these Vauv foods, or if you guys actually like me making, like how I made like cabbage rolls and I made pork dumplings, something a little bit more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, something a little more involved versus like, 2 ingredient dishes. Alright, thank you so much, everyone that came. I'll talk to you guys later. Slide to my DMs if you want to chat. Bye!